Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. First day of winter, and it's absolutely miserable. Has been for the last couple of weeks now, but as 1st of June, clouds have rolled in. It's 12 Celsius, and I'd love to get out there and show you guys how everything's getting along there. As you can see, the plastic's still up, so it's doing pretty well. There's a few tears in it, but nothing too severe just as yet, fingers crossed. But I thought I'd do a quick update. One of you asked how the coconuts were going. So I thought I'd show you what I've done with the coconuts, a few of the mangoes, and where they are at the moment. Probably don't need to be, but brought them inside, so yeah, I'll show you how they're going. Alright, so start with the mangoes. So all three are inside now. As I mentioned, they didn't cop the majority of the cold, which we've had for the last 2 days, I'm going to say, the real winter, which is 15 and below. I've noticed a bit of cold damage on it, which you'll see, but nothing too severe. But they are inside, so yeah, I'll show you what they look like. Alright guys, so starting with the Nam Doc Mai, which surprisingly is the greenest of all, and still looks the most healthiest. So I'm not sure if that's because he sort of had a chance to acclimate to our weather, but if you have a look at the foliage, and you'll see when I compare it to the other ones, it's still got really dark green foliage on it. No new growth, so from memory I actually tipped this one, hoping that it would actually branch out, and actually if you have a closer look there, actually it is starting to branch out. Probably not the best time, but you can see a little few little lumps there, which might be signs of starting to branch out, but probably not the best time. So anyway guys, these guys I sort of prepared for a while now. So during the spring and summer months, we gave these guys loads of blood and bone, loads of sea salt and seaweed solutions, and even though we haven't hit the best part of winter just as yet, we are getting a cold snap. So all of you guys in the southeast of Australia, so New South Wales, Canberra, where I just returned from again for another working trip, you all know what I'm talking about. In Victoria, obviously, we that cold snap, that polar ice is coming across, and yeah, we're getting temperatures like 8 degrees, even lower in the mornings now. I think it was about 3 or 2 when I arrived last night, and it's about the same this morning. So for 3 or 2, this guy, even though he's inside, is actually doing pretty well for a Nam Doc Mai. We're not getting as much sunlight anymore, and the days are way shorter. This isn't a north-facing window. It's actually an east-facing window. But as you can see on the Nam Doc Mai, it's looking pretty healthy, so I'm pretty surprised, pretty impressed with it. Alright, moving on. Nam Doc Mai. Alright, R2E2, which was the grafted one. So this is the one with the, if you remember, the funny little leaves, the multicolored leaves, which I don't know how it got that. I'm still wondering whether it's something that they fed it or they've sprayed onto it. This guy's still in his pot, the way he came, so glad wrapped. I haven't taken him out. Kept the humidity levels high within the rootstock. And he's actually doing really well too. So I think if we look at the Nam Doc Mai and the foliage on that, and then you compare it to the R2E2, obviously they're two different trees, so the foliage is going to be a bit different. One surefire sign that a tree is doing well is new growth. So as you can see, as we get in a bit closer, this guy's still shooting out new growth. Still wants to send out new growth. I'll let that grow during winter, or let it sort of do what it needs to do, and then it will be tipped come spring, early summer. Encourage him to branch out too. So besides that, the foliage is still looking really, really good. Nice green colour, no yellowing at all, which is really good. It's expected from an R2E2. Not too sure if it's expected from an R2E2 which is grafted. I don't know what you guys think about that, but I'm really happy with him. He's doing really, really well, and he was doing really well, while he was outside, which was like even up to, I think, only brought him in on Sunday, so that he was doing really, really good. So he was fine outside. I just, thought I might just bring him in just to be sure, just so he doesn't get any cold damage. I might even take him outside again to do a bit more of testing, see how much he can take before we're going to bring him inside with a heater. But yeah, R2E2 grafted. All right, moving straight along. R2E2 seedling. Also doing really well. Not much has changed here. I don't know, this guy's a bit funny. His new growth was tipped, not by myself, but I'm assuming by Dailies, the guys that I got it from. Besides that, the leaves are still green. Again, not much difference. This massive leaf here. It's huge. Wow, sorry guys, I'm just admiring this leaf is massive. Anyway, as expected from an R2E2, like I said guys, still doing pretty well, which is the reason why I got the R2E2. I didn't choose, I know one of you guys asked in the videos whether or not I actually opted to get them in winter, but I didn't. It's all about financials guys as well, so I'd love to just click and collect per se, but unfortunately I've got to sort of line it up with our bank account. So in saying that, both these R2E2s were available, and I was in the market for a new mango. I just wasn't sure whether I should get grafted or whether I should get seedling, so I got both. These won't be the last type of mangoes that I get. There's a few more that I have eyes on, depending whether I've never purchased from Ross Creek, but I've purchased from Dailies, so maybe Ross Creek next. I've seen some of the stock that you guys get from Ross Creek, and it looks pretty good, so sometimes even bigger than these ones. So yeah, they might be next on my list. So yeah, R2E2 is definitely not the last ones. I'll show you the R2E2 that I grew from seed. Alright, that's the R2E2 that I grew from seed, which is also doing extremely well. Still young, so not going to complain. I'm letting him do his own thing as he slowly matures up. He's still growing out new growth there. Conveniently during winter, he's just sent those shoots out there. As you can see, one on the top, one on the bottom. But not gonna complain about that. I think he had a third too. So if I just, yeah, there. There's a third there on the bottom too. So Melbourne mango, acclimatized to our temperature. Not too much damage. Bit of damage here. Could be just old leaves, but he's certainly doing pretty fine. So I'm happy with him there. And while I'm showing mangoes, I'll just show you guys the KP that I grew from C2. KP and R2E2 were one of the easiest ones to actually sprout, guys. So if you're keen on giving a mango a shot from seed, yeah, KP was really easy to come out. So once you remove that husk, per se, away from the seed and you plant it, it pretty much grows instantly. As long as you're doing it during summer, obviously, or during some of the warmer months. And as you can see, the foliage on it's really, really nice. Nice, bright, healthy green. No winter damage at all. And these guys haven't experienced any winter damage either. So they're about, well, believe it or not, a year old. They are in Melbourne, so, but no winter damage. They do stop growing during the winter months, but they kick back in. They don't die. So Look how nice they are. You can grow your own mangoes from seeds. You know, once summer comes along, once they start restocking mangoes back in our shops. But yeah, just wanted to give you guys an update on the mangoes. And while I'm at it, I'll show you guys the coconuts because they're inside too. Alright, these are our coconuts there. On the bottom there's Miracle Berry, which I'm struggling to. He's drying up. I don't know if I should be watering him or if I should sort of wrap him up like I've done with the coconuts here. What do you guys think? But we'll start with the coconuts. As you can tell, bit of cold damage on the side. Coconut number 1. Bit of tips here, it's been a bit burnt. Now these guys were outside for all of autumn. I just brought them in 3 days ago. So, super sensitive. But, as you can see, still loads of new growth coming out on the back there, which is awesome. And look, no damage at all on the new growth. So this stuff here, that's alright, as long as it freezes from growing. It freezes from damaging the leaves. I don't mind, because it's still sending out new growth there. There in the middle there, not this one. And as I mentioned, I've wrapped him up in plastic too. So you can see the plastic, it's humid in there, so the water is reacting with the heater that we have on. It's keeping it warm, it's keeping it humid. I've seen some videos which I might try next spring or summer when I do water them, to put salt into the middle of the actual palm itself. So let me know what you guys think about that. Should I add salt to it? A lot of people put salt, apparently it helps it to grow faster, but I don't know. I thought salt water kills stuff. Let me know. Coconut number 2, again, all the coconuts are all in plastic bags. Let me just come up here. So coconut number 2, still doing really well. No damage on the tips at all. There's damage here which I snipped off. And as you can see in the middle there, new growth too. So I know guys, we're just the start of winter, but it's undeniable that we've had temperatures that are already in the low teens. And you may say that, yeah, it's just a start and you already got burnt leaves. That's okay. I brought them inside now, so you can't keep these guys outside. They're ultra tropical, ultra sensitive. So there's not a chance that you're going to grow coconut outdoors unless you live in Brisbane and above. I've had some people in Perth grow it, but they get the 2 metre, the 1 metre, 1.5 metre palms, which are pretty much already established. And even they need protection during winter. So I'm just going to see how far we can take these. If we can take these to next spring and next summer, for me, that's already a success. Because then we can work on how to encourage more growth. Because these guys just came last year. Last year? Yeah, last year before summer, I think it was. And they've lasted that long already. And they've set out new growth. So if they can last this winter, we can start considering putting them into pots instead of just the nuts like that. So I'm really excited, really nervous, but we're going to keep monitoring these coconuts. We're going to see how they're going to develop over winter. All right, coconut number 3. Just move this guy a bit. 1 second. Okay, I just turned the light on. I don't know how much of difference that's going to make, but again, you'll see a trend here. Older leaves are a bit damaged from the cold. These are the older leaves. So this was prior to sea salt feeding. And then if you have a look into the middle here, just move this out. New growth. You've got a bit of damage, a bit of cold damage admittedly. Nothing too severe though. I wouldn't say that's severe. Right? Because if you get in there closer, you had to have a closer look. Look how green and deep green it is in there for a palm. That's the colour you want. This damage could be winter, could be cold, could be heat. I'm going to say it's cold. It's obvious it's cold. But we just moved him in. So they've just been moved in 3 days ago. Am I worried? 50-50, I'd say. 50-50 worried. Because it's warm in here. And because the nut is covered in bags with the water in there, sprayed water in there. Probably could put a bit of sea salt in there, probably help him a bit as well. It's all an experiment, guys. I'm just trying to see how far I can push these outside of their comfort zones. Alright? Which leads me to coconut number 4. Which is by far doing the best. And this is just... Well, I'll show you because I can't... It's evidence, alright? Winter damage from Melbourne, check. Winter damage, check. Winter damage, check. Winter damage, check. Cool. This is new growth. This one here is a new leaf. This one, also a new leaf. Look at the green, look at the foliage, look at the health. Here, new growth. Look at the green again, bit of damage. We don't live in the tropics, alright? It's not going to grow like that out there, okay? It's not going to grow like that. If you can't see that, the window's a bit dirty. It's a queen palm. No way, right? It's going to grow like this with a bit of damage, bit of winter damage, but it's still going to grow because if you look close down here, again, this guy is shooting out new growth. Look at that. Loving it. By far, the most healthiest coconut I've had here in Melbourne. Alright, if you want to go through my coconut experiments, have a look in my past videos. I had a Malay Gold dwarf. Pretty developed, probably the same as this size, I reckon it was, for those of you who remember. Died within the first couple of months. Flat out, greenhouse, inside the greenhouse, dried up, died. The plant came off the nut. This guy's here, same size, new growth. You guys be the judge. What do you think? Pretty cool, if you ask me. Pretty damn cool. For that to be sending out new growth there, the start of winter in Melbourne. Yeah, I've moved them inside. Of course I'm going to move them inside. I'm not going to keep them outside. They're going to die. But anyone who grows coconuts in Melbourne and can get them to grow, that's pretty damn cool. So, that's for those of you who wanted the update on the coconuts. That's the update. So, that's how they're going now. So, they're not crash hot, but they're also not dying. And if they're not dying, they're surviving. And come summer, they'll thrive. And I know they'll thrive if they survive through this winter because it's apparent. We got these in spring last year. And when we got them, they struggled. They struggled through spring. They were outdoors. If you remember, I tried to make a makeshift greenhouse, tried to put them in there, didn't work. And eventually, they just went outside. And they adapted, and they grew. And they all started shooting out new growth. So, this is going to be the biggest challenge right here. The biggest of all challenges. Getting through this winter. But if we can get through this winter, we can push through spring, and they still look that damn green, I reckon we're in luck. But anyways, that's a coconut update, guys. Coconut / indoor mango update. Let me know what your thoughts are. Interested to know. Yeah, hit a like if you guys are satisfied with the video. Let me know what you want to sort of see next. I will show you the outside. As I mentioned, the plastic's still up, which is great news. We had a bit of a windstorm yesterday, did tear it a bit. I'm not going to lie. It's not, it's not a foolproof greenhouse, but it's doing its job. So I'll show you, that will be the next video. All right. Bye for now.